You failed twice in a row. And he doesn't really have that great of perception anyways. Alright, so mobility. Maybe we should go with strength instead. Eh? Okay. She had she would have had a much harder, a slightly harder difficulty of trying to get that thing done with. But anyways, we went for the avalanche. The boulders rumbling down the slope. The column of dust and the triumphant cries from above. That would be enough for Lamashtu herself to turn tail. The cultist wasn't any better. He lost his footing and his escape turned into an awkward tumble, causing him to trip and stumble amongst the rocks. Darkness failed to cover the peculiar way the runaway walked. The robed figure was limping badly, dragging their right leg. Despite that, the cultists vanished into the darkness without a trace. The party followed to the edge of the plateau where the flatlands began. As our brave heroes reached the edge of the plateau, the vastness of the camelins opened before them in an ocean of high grass as far as the eye could see. A beautiful sight, but finding our quarry in the sea, in this green sea, it would prove impossible. With our heads down and hopes lost, we descended to where a small streamlet flowed amongst the stones, and then, there before us, good fortune. In his haste, our villain had run through the high grass, leaving a trail for all to see. The party immediately set off, driven by a single desire to capture the criminal who dared to escape the punishment of the Baron and had led us on this unwelcome chase. We moved as swiftly as we could, but even the ground itself. Ground seemed to fight us. Rock gave way to mud which grew deeper as we marched on and seemed to grab at our boots. Even the wind began to rise, lashing at our cloaks, and a foul scent filled the air. Sure, signs were leading towards the normal marches. Soaking wet and exhausted, our heroes came upon a cabin at the edge of a swamp. According to Keston, it was a hunter's lodge owned by Doomra. We've been there. Hunter who lived there alone and also known for a great temper and little patience. It also looked as if it might be a place where the cultists would seek shelter. It was unlikely the runaway could brave the depths of the normal marches in the middle of the night. So the Baron pushed open the door and stepped inside, letting a touch of the cool night air in. The lodge is lit with only a few candles on the tables and counters. Shadows lie thick around the room. A number of people are here. A well-dressed couple at one of the tables. A girl in simple dress dozes near the opposite wall, and at the counter is an untidy dwarf. She's wiping the bugs and glaring at you. From the half-opened kitchen door, you hear the clanging of pans upon the metal, and presumably a stove. Keston looks around with a heavy gaze. Things have gone from bad to worse. We must find the cultists before they flee, and we have no... Okay. Things have gone from bad to worse. We must find the cultists before they flee, and we have no idea what they look like. People in the lodge look surprised and concerned. Each seems to recognize you and ask themselves, what is the ruler of these lands doing here at such a late hour, flanked by armed guards? And Keston's hands falls to his weapon. Your Grace, I'm ready to make an arrest, but if you wish to investigate further before making a decision, I'll make sure no one leaves the lodge until you give the orders. Aww. The chaotic decision was actually the best decision for this scenario, if I recall correctly. Because what this would have done was bring everybody in here, no one leaves, until the investigation was done. I'd like to look around and speak with these people. Maybe I'll find something. As a command, Your Grace, no one will leave this house. I'll make sure of that. Keston looks around the hall once again. My advice, take their room keys. Their personal belongings speak their owner's intent, often more than their masters would like. Well. Una and Cabron Tedrim. A bearded middle-aged man stands before you. He wears a massive gold chain on his neck. He's got a golden chin, chat. The woman beside him gives a polite smile and nod as you approach. Greetings, Baron. The man's voice is low as to rubble. Let me introduce myself. Cabron Tedrim from Restov. He nods to the woman beside him, and this is my wife, Una Tedrim. We've come to your lands to hunt, yet I admit we did not expect to meet you in person. To what do we owe this honor? Tell me about yourself. I'm a legalist, Baron. The Cabron hooks his thumbs into his embroidered belt. My job is to ensure Restov's laws are upheld. My wife is the keeper of the hearth of my loyal companion in prolonged journeys. Una nods without a word, her gaze fixed on you. Oh yes, of course, Cabron Tedrim. I've heard about you and your famous legal cases. Success. Cabron Tedrim freezes as if someone put a knife to his throat. Is that so? He tries to smile. Oh, I got you now, buddy. But his eyes are tearful. I did it out, Baron. That anything you heard concerned me. My family name is a common one. I have so many relatives. I know not a quarter of them. He clears his throat. A legalist, so you're a judge? And smiles lightly. Not exactly. I work as a legal defendant in cases where a suspect's innocence must be proven, and I admit I have moderate success in this field. Everyone seems about to elaborate, then stops. No need to bother you with tedious tales from the courts. Well, with a difficult job like yours, it's impossible to get by without some divine support. Whom do you address your prayers to? Why, to Abadar, of course, divine patron of law and lawyers. Cameron looks at you intently. Surely, you are aware of Abadar, are you not? You must be. No matter. Let's go back to the other questions. You recognized me at once. Do I know you? I doubt it, but news about developments within the Stolen Lands and your rule in them has traveled far. Zircon is a well-known name beyond your borders. Cabron gives a polite bow. Far from a boy, are you not? You see, Cabron clears his throat. I've heard the wildlife here are excellent sport, though I decided to see for myself. Sort truth from rumor, you understand? Fortunately, my fair wife was in favor of the trip, so here we are. Do you prefer snares or bow? Or a bow? A bow? What kind of prey do you hunt? Cabron freezes. He swallows. Cougars. He swallows again as if fighting to take a breath. Magnificent predators, worth prey for a worthy hunter. Well, I hope you enjoy your hunting. Let's change the topic. My pleasure. An odd place to rest for the night. Why, Baron? Why, Baron? Why, Baron? Okay. Una gives a false smile. We adore this charming dwelling. She glances around the dim hall. Her smile remains, but you notice she raises an eyebrow at her surroundings as if in judgment. Crime has taken place nearby. The one responsible may be hiding in this house. Have you seen anything suspicious? The Tedrims exchange glances. I'm afraid, Your Grace. Cabron looks downcast. We won't be able to help you. Seen anyone suspicious? On the hall, we are not accustomed to such company, Baron. Besides, from the Restov legalist point of view, every person in this room is suspicious. How do you know the hostess of this lodge? No, I don't. Oh, do you? Not how do you. Do you know? And I must say, she doesn't look forward to meeting new people either. You recall whom Do you recall whom came to the lodge in the last hour or so? Cameron casts a look behind you. On second thought, this young woman, I didn't notice exactly when she entered the room. He turns to his wife. My dear, perhaps you recall. What was the name of our hostess used addressing her? Olika, sweetheart. I cannot recall if I saw her at the start of the evening. Go back to the questionings. I am gonna need your room key. Okay. Despite Uno's cool expression, you notice a bead of sweat running down her temple. As she spots your glance, her lips tighten. Cabron takes a key from his purse and hands it to you. As you wish, Baron. I'll come back to you later. That's one room key. A young woman stands before you, wearing a plain dress and a hooded cloak. Her belly is swollen. She is pregnant and her time is near. Your Grace, it's an honor. The woman bows and stares at you with shining eyes. I thought I'd never be able to thank you in person for your kindness, but gods were kind to me. You must have forgotten already, but it was you who discovered my husband's body. A traitor died on one of his trips. You found a brooch and a letter on his body and had it sent to me. She touches a turquoise brooch pinned to her dress. The brooch is familiar to you. You made it possible the last gift from my husband had found its way home. There's not enough words in the world for how grateful I am. What are you doing here? I am taking what rest I can after a long day on the road, Your Grace. I'm a widow. Olika stopped short. I barely had 2 seasons to mourn my husband. He left me with child in difficult times like these. Yeah, it is. Yeah, a very difficult time. I've got a sister in Galtrin. God's bless her. She's agreed to give me a shelter in her house, so I went there. There was nowhere else to go. Amenria Olika's letter emerges from the depths of your mind. She mentioned her son in the letter, but now there is no child by her mother. It's odd that Olika, who's been planning to stay at Galtrin, didn't bring her son with her. Where are you from? From Galt, Your Grace. I'm from a tiny village near Tract. Guess no one here ever heard about this place. Okay. You recall the location of Galt and Galtrin. As far as you know, stolen lands lay aside from the places Olika had named. Are you planning to stay in Galtrin? Olika hesitates. I don't know yet, she answers, but if things turn out well, why not? It was a long journey for you. Olika shrugs. I have little coin, Your Grace, so I have to beg traders on the road to ride in their carts. I spend nights anywhere I have to. This place is at least warm and dry. Talk about something else. I'm looking for a cultist of a dark goddess. Can you help me? Cultist? That's horrible, but how can I help you? Have you seen anything suspicious tonight? No, I don't think so. Do you know anyone in this hall? First time I've seen these people was when I stepped over the threshold of this lodge. Do you know who came to the lodge last? I heard a noise from the kitchen. It was like something fell on the floor, and then this grumpy old lady Dumra came out. Talk about something else. I'm gonna need your room key. Olika hesitates, then takes the key out of her cloak and hands it to you without a word. You see those couple at the table? They are nobles from Rostov. They claim you were the last one who'd come to the hall. Olika gives you a perplexed look, but that's not true. It's not. Her voice runs. Dumra, the hostess, she was the last one. I remember her coming through the kitchen. I should go.
In due time.
I'm gonna need that milk, please. The table is piled with dirty dishes and cold leftover food. The kitchen servant is busy, grinding herbs within a mortar. She's wearing a dress soiled with dark stains, and her hair is knotted in a bun with a few stray hairs poking free. Knock, knock. Oh, good job, knock, knock. The woman doesn't appear to notice you as she makes her way to the stove. You notice she's limping badly on her right leg. Before you can speak, she turns, sees you, and freezes. Who are you? Name's Tisana. I cook for Tedrims, nobles from Restov. She wipes her hands with her apron. What will it be? What can you tell me about your masters? Tisana frowns. No quicker road to trouble. Talking about masters, that is. He glances at your clothes and sighs. How would you like it if your servants were all a gossip about you? When are they not? They pay regular, not stingy with their coin. They don't yell much, so I count myself fortunate. I do. Why are they here? Why are they here, you think? None of my business. Might be they have things to do, but I wouldn't know it. I mend, I cook, I serve when we're needed. All right, let's go back to Tedrons. We're looking for a criminal who may have fled this way. Have you seen anyone suspicious? What can be seen here, you say? Ask Jumra. She runs the house. She does. Has anyone come to the kitchen recently? Only Jumra came. No doubt checking to see if I'm not palming the silver, as if there's anything worth stealing here. So there's not. The hostess of the lodge doesn't mind you cooking at her kitchen. As if she came here often herself. She throws up her hands, filth piled in corners, the floor sandaled deep in dirt, and had to work my fingers to the bone to clean the kitchen before I could start a proper meal in this. She curls her lip. This cowshed. That's all I need. I need your room key. Room? She raises an eyebrow. I don't have a room, except here in the kitchen. Bed's a bench. Still warm enough. What are you cooking, Tisana? She throws a glance at the stove. There's for tomorrow. She hesitates. Tomorrow's midday meal. Peek into the stew pot. You take the lid off the pan. Some brew boils inside. It looks strange and smells odd. You lean over and smell the stew, and immediately flinch. A acrid stench of vinegar feels like a punch in the face. Besides, you can smell some strange spice, which would be appropriate in a dessert, but not in a first course for dinner. All right, I won't trouble you any longer. I have to go.
I'm there.
I believe I found something.
Good job. Time to pillage. Staff. I better check this perception.
I did as you asked.
Nice. Back door was used recently. Ugh. But hey, a sling staff +2. 1d8. A two-handed. Okay. A throwing weapon, right? Range 50 feet. Yep. Okay. So I'm guessing. This feature allows you to add your strength bonus to the damage with a bow. Well, this isn't a bow, but okay.
I do what I must.
Oh.
Done and done.
Something is burning inside the stove. It was thrown in the fire not long ago. I'm on to you, girl. Pretty sure it's you. Juma looks at you with a word. I am looking for someone. Can you help me? Juma gives you a sullen glance. It seems she's not too happy to talk with you, but she doesn't dare refuse it openly. Do you know who your guests are? Why should I? Dumra tilts her head, her eyes appraising you. I'm not their ward. They come, they pay for a bed, they keep quiet. Why would I care who they are? Crime has happened, Dumra. I need your help to find the culprit. So what did this culprit do wrong? Now Shadadir and Dumra's voice becomes thick, corners of her mouth curve down. Shadadir in someone's lands, and now the criminal has to run away as if she was an animal herself. Whatever it is, leave me out of it. Cultist of Lamashtu is hiding in your lodge. I have to find them. Dumra stares at you for a moment, then utters a hoarse cackle. One of Lamashtu's own? That's quite a story you spun, your grace. Next you'll tell me I'm holding Rovagug down in the cellar. And what's your proof that I hide cultists? There are footprints leading to your lodge. So what? Your lodge is the only house in the neighborhood. And is it a bad thing to provide shelter for those who's lost? Several owls walk from your lodge as Shrine of Lamashtu. Baron, enough. Here in the Stolen Lands, you can swing a dead cat without hitting some You can't swing a dead cat without hitting some goblin's nest, or cursed ruins, or a shrine of something foul. I really don't like your tone, really. The dwarf frowns, her eyes run. And how would you react if a mob barged into your home and started troubling you and your guests? If you were expecting me to bow in a scrape before you, then you're mistaken. Yeah, I probably should not have stated that, but I'm not gonna argue with you. Do you let everyone in your house? What are you hinting at, huh? Your guests, Doomrod. Do you allow anyone who asks to spend the night? Doomrod blinks several times, pondering her words. Of course, everyone. What else am I expected to do? Pick who gets a warm spot near the fireplace and who gets left out in the rain? I've let in you and your thugs, though you've put a terror in my other guests. Excuse me? Who are you calling a thug? Doomer eyes Octavia and falls silent, then shrugs. You're a fair lass, sure, but who knows what thoughts you have in that pretty head of yours. You remember when they came to your lodge? You remember when they came to your lodge, at least? Doomer closes her eyes, trying to recall. I went to check on my traps. Some people arrived when I was away, so I can't tell you for sure, your grace. Let's go back to the other questions. People say you came to the hall last. Doomer looks at you closely for a moment, then grunts. Right. She speaks slowly, as if keeping her temper. I went out to the kitchen when this clumsy gal has knocked over some of my pots. What of it? How many people are here in the lodge now, except for you? Watch yourself. There are 3 of them, all sitting over there. Doomer nods towards her guest. One of the kitchen, guessing she's a servant to those 2 noble folk. They look to be carrying all the coin. Have to go. The woman of the kitchen. Your cook? The Baron nods quickly. Yes, we just can't imagine our lives without Tasana. Una coughs delicately. My constitution demands a unique diet. Private matter if you don't mind. Probably could have actually done that just a little bit better.
I'm off.
The bag contains Tendrim's clothes and personal belongings. The sheets are crumpled. The blanket is thrown aside. It seems someone was sleeping in this bed not long ago. Ooh, that's a perception. And boom. Come on, let Octavia through.
I did as you asked.
Awesome. There are no hunting bows, arrows, snares, nor any other sign of the Tendrims having any hunting of their on their mind.
Did it without breaking it.
Yeah, they apparently aren't hunters at all.
I did it.
I'm there.
I did.
This requires your attention.
Okay, the sheets on the bed look dirty. The old bed cover is sewed together sewed together. Okay. Receipts, shopping lists, and other papers pile over Druma's table. A pile of dirty clothes covers the snares. There are a few hunting bows and quivers with arrows.
I did it. I did.
Gains modest clothing, some packed leftover food, a purse with herbs, and other personal belongings. Good. This is Olika's bed.
Now I'm embarrassed.
Aha.
I did as you asked.
Yay! The mattress covers blood-stained cloth and bandages. Table holds a pile of letters crossed with a ribbon. These are the letters from Olika's deceased husband.
Did it without breaking it.
Nice. Good on ya, buddy. Go get it, knock knock.
I did it. I did.
Oh.
I did it. I did.
Rest? No. Oh,
In
loot.
due time.
Oh, come on, knock knock. I thought.
Did it without breaking it.
Good job. I looted everywhere. Folks won't be too happy with me, but can't be helped. Save. I've been to your room. I found no hunting weapons there. And Cabron becomes white as a sheet. You see, well, he licks his lips, which are now trembling slightly. Una, who is watching her husband closely, touches his shoulder lightly. I beg your pardon, Baron. She leans into Cabron and whispers something in his ear. Barely hear Una's hiss. Get a hold of yourself, you fool. You'll ruin everything. These words seem to have the desired effect. Cabron suddenly straightens and smiles. And truth be told, it's a rather embarrassing matter. Cabron gives a hollow chuckle. I proved a much worse hunter than I thought. Just imagine, I managed to snap not one, but not two, but 3 bowstrings in a day. Infuriated, I broke my bow across my knee. It shames me to even speak of it. Aha! Una smiles gently and looks aside. Olika, why are there blood-stained undergarments in your room? Where is that from? Olika takes a step back, her eyes wide with fear. I'll explain. The woman lowers her head and rests her hands against her belly. I'm expecting a baby, but because of the journey or all the worries, something must have gone wrong. It hurts. Olika closes her eyes tightly, and I bleed. Olika starts sobbing. I try to find out what's wrong, to heal myself, to appease the gods. The priest of Pharasma told me he couldn't help. The goddess rejected my child, said it would be born dead. But I can't just accept it. I can't give up this child, my husband's child, all I have left of him. Olika hides her face behind her hands and starts to weep. You realize you'll get nothing more from her at the moment.
I'm there.
anything new with Tasana? No, nothing new with Tasana. I'd like to examine your room, Doomra. Doomra hands tighten to fist, but she keeps them on her hips. She says nothing, merely stares at you defiantly. Listen, the sooner I cross you out of the suspect list, the sooner I'll leave you alone. Do me a favor and give me your room key, and all this will be over before you know it. Yeah. Doomer is silent for a moment, then nods and pulls an old, age-darkened key from her belt. You're aware then, her eyes narrow, but... Hey, your way then, her eyes narrow. They did it again. This is supposed to be grayed out. But have a care, no digging through my undergarments or I'll have your hands on hooks, you hear? I have to go. Okay, we found nothing in there. Lore religion. Better actually,
It is done.
Nice. There's Rassel's holy symbol above the fireplace. The god of the hunt and family ties protects this place. Keston's brow is furrowed. He looks at you, awaiting your orders. Okay, they're the most suspicious. But I kind of don't think it's them. She gave me her answer. The reason why I don't is because, well... you'll ruin everything. Maybe it is them. There is someone who seemed especially suspicious to me. But I will have to say, the sun up there. Even a servant would get a bed. No, get a bed, I believe. I don't know. Who would you interrogate first? And Keston shoots a glance at the dwarf at the counter. The hostess has been staring hate at us since we entered. Mind her. There's someone who seemed especially suspicious to me. Just call the name and I will interrogate that person. Let's get Cabron Tendrum, the only man of the lodge. Keston ponders. All right, let's figure it out. I will bring him to you at once. So, Cabron, the time has come for us to have a heart-to-heart. Why are you here? Cabron trembles, his voice quavering, his face pale. Well, what are you talking about? Let's cut to the chase, Master Tendrum. You don't want to keep our Baron waiting, do you? Fine, Karen almost shouts. I confess. I didn't come here to hunt, but it's not my fault. It's because of her, because of my wife. What about your wife? Keston's eyes narrow. The truth now, all of it. I've lost too much time to you and your cult already. I'm not a cultist. It's Una. She told me the priests of Lamashtu could help us. She brought me here to this godforsaken hole. She threatened that if I didn't go, she'd end our marriage, and she's a great niece of Garnet Orlovsky. Yeah, okay, so it was Tasana. Yay. The shame would destroy me. I guess we made a mistake. This squab is guilty only of a lack of spine, but then who is? Getson is interrupted by a loud noise from the kitchen. What was that? This prattle bores me dead to the intruders. What? Oh, yep.
What for Gorham? Won't kill me.
Good God.
I still got it. I'll survive. I always survive. You survive. I always survive.
Consider me.
Right.